Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Wednesday night Loving Kindness class. My name is Alex. It's wonderful to be here with you tonight. If I forget to tell you later, I love you all without exception. And kind of that's what this class is all about. Hopefully, if there's anyone who's new to this class, there's a little chat box and you can say hi. I would love for you to say hello and where you're from, especially if you're outside of San Diego County. I've had people from all over, and so I'm always really curious about where you're logging in from. All right. If you're not new, say hi as well. I would love to hear from you. And I say this every week, and so I'm probably going to keep on saying it. It really helps me to be engaged with you. If you just even say hello, it helps you be engaged with me and to the rest of the people who are watching. I'm going to ask Travis here, who's recording everything and our kind of showrunner, if you could, showrunner, if anyone has said hello. And so, and then I'll kind of say hello back. So hello to everybody. I love doing this class. Even during stressful times, I'm kind of in the middle of a move. So, and this is the last class that I'm doing while I still live here. I'm still going to be doing the class, but I might be doing it from my new place, or I will be doing it from here. I'll just be driving in. I don't know yet. We'll see. Either way is fine. I love coming here, so I might just come here. So this is a class, if you're new, on loving kindness. There's many words for this. Loving kindness is the one who you'll hear about a lot. The other one you'll hear unconditional friendliness, goodwill, and these different translations of this word metta, which is an ancient Pali word, come in very handy when you're doing this practice, because you can have goodwill for anybody, even for the people who you don't like. Because when you have goodwill for somebody, what you're really saying is, I really want for you to do the things that cause happiness. And if you do the things that cause happiness, and I do the things that cause me happiness, our wishes, our aspirations will never conflict with each other, right? Because what causes happiness? You always have to ask yourself that question: what causes happiness? And if you want to know what causes happiness, think about what causes suffering. And if you can think about what causes suffering, you have a good idea about what causes happiness. It's the opposite of that, right? And so the motto here at the Dharma Bum Temple is think good thoughts, speak good words, do good deeds. That causes happiness. Plain and simple. And it's this wonderful phrase that, Buddhism didn't invent and no one else invented. It comes from literally thousands and thousands of years ago. Pre-Christianity, pre-Buddhism, pre-Hinduism, pre-Islam, pre-everything, right? It comes from this religion called Zoroastrianism, which is the oldest monotheistic religion in the world. It's still practiced like in Iraq or Iran, I can't remember, and some places, all around the world as well. And so it comes from that. And so this is so applicable to pretty much anything. And it really encompasses what causes happiness: our well-intentioned thoughts, words, and actions. So I have to include well-intentioned because intention is everything, right? So our well-intentioned, our skillfully intentioned thoughts, words, and actions, those things cause happiness. And so if I do that, I will only be benefiting mankind. And so the people who receive this will only benefit from this. And if everybody does that, boy, I tell you what, the world will be a much different place than it is today. there is only 6 days left to go until the election. And, the reason I bring that up is because at election time, the results of the election, there will always be about at least 45% of the people who will be unhappy. It hovers between, it's around 45. The losing candidate will usually gets around 45, 47. Or maybe like last time it was like 52 or something like 49. I can't remember what the number was. But whomever loses, they'll get like 40-something% of the vote. And so that's a big number of people that are going to be unhappy, regardless of the outcome. Doesn't matter what the outcome is. A lot of people are going to be really, really, really unhappy with that. And so that's why, especially now in this really divisive time, we have to really keep in mind that fact. All right. This is a wonderful time for loving kindness. They say that just mindfulness, Buddhist mindfulness, is a moment-to-moment practice. And it is a moment-to-moment practice because you can be mindful in any moment. Right? You can be mindful and practice these skillful intentions in every single moment. And so since, loving kindness is the same way, you can practice loving kindness at every single moment. It's just being mindful of your positive and well-intentioned thoughts, words, and actions. And so you can practice this at any time during the day. At any time during the day, you can release your mind of these discursive thoughts that rumble around in your mind and do all sorts of damage, whether you notice it or not, whether you realize it or not. If you just notice, because a lot of times, on Facebook and Twitter and, whatever else, Instagram, whatever else that Jeff uses, he always says, just stop what you're doing and take 3 deep breaths or take 5 deep breaths. And that's a reminder that you can practice this mindfulness, that you can practice this loving kindness for yourself just by releasing your mind of these, thoughts that rumble around in your head that don't do you any good. And this, what we're doing, in the next hour is a very focused practice, very specific practice on loving kindness. And so we're going to have this little talk, and then we're going to have our meditation on loving kindness, and then we're going to have a question and answer ceremony. It was kind of quiet last week. Was it last week, the week we had some technical difficulties? Yeah, we had some technical difficulties last week. Sometimes YouTube just acts weird, and it was acting weird last week, so apologize for that. But we have no control over that, and that's just what happens sometimes. And so we're going to have a question and answer. If you have any questions, you can ask it now, and we'll save it till the end of the meditation until we get to it. Or if you just want to think about and ask yourself, what do I want to ask Alex after the meditation? And just think about that. And then when you're meditating, just don't even worry about it. And then when the meditation is over, ask yourself again. And a lot of times that will provide a lot of clarity for you. All right, so hopefully somebody has said hello.
Jean said, hi, Alex, not new, from UTC.
Hi, Jean at UTC.
Marcel said, hello, Alex, nice to see you again from Golden Hills in San Diego.
Nice to see you, Marcel. The first place I ever lived in San Diego 34 years ago was Golden Hill.
And then Jennifer said, hi from Jen and Jeremy and Meatball.
Hi, Jen and Jeremy and Meatball. Meatball. Okay. So, kind of what I've been doing the last couple of times is not giving a ton of instruction, because I've given a lot of instruction. No one said that they were new. And so if someone said that they were new, I'd probably give maybe a little bit more instruction. But even if you're new, the instruction that I will give should be sufficient. All right, and so I do this just because it gives you a little bit more time to meditate and a little less time listening to me. So we're kind of going to do that. We're going to do this wonderful practice of loving kindness like we've done, every Wednesday for a couple of years now. Let me get out my handy dandy. There we go. Handy dandy timer. Okay. So get into that nice kind of seated position, whether it's on a mat or on a chair. Travis, I think I'm closer than, the camera's closer than normal, right?
A little bit, but
Okay.
I zoomed out a little bit more too.
Oh, okay. All right. All right, everybody, let's do this. So you allow your eyes to close, making sure you have that nice and stable seated position that's nice and sustainable for you, so you're not likely to move around too much. And when you sit like a Buddha. Whether seated in a chair or a mat, it doesn't matter. You can imagine yourself underneath the Bodhi tree of enlightenment, or underneath your own type of tree of enlightenment. Ready for this wonderful abiding on loving kindness, on Metta. So let's just take a deep breath all the way in and all the way out. Really getting connected to the breath, which will help us so much in our practice of loving kindness. Paying this gentle attention to the breath will keep the mind in that place and out of all these discursive thoughts that go around in your head. You can focus on your breath at the base of the nostrils, feeling the air go all the way in and all the way out. Holding your attention right here at the base of the nostrils. So just for the next few moments, just rest as gently as you can in the sensations of the breath. And now to begin our practice of loving kindness, let's call to mind a benefactor. And a benefactor is anyone who has shown us great love and great kindness. Someone it's really easy to have these feelings for. You just think of this person and you begin to smile. Your heart begins to get bigger and warmer. You just begin to feel better because of all the ways in which they've benefited you, they've been kind to you, they've loved you, they've encouraged you. It could be one person, it could be multiple people. Anyone except for a romantic partner is fine. I yawned there a little bit, so I had to take a deep breath. And what you can do is you can just radiate loving kindness to them, and however you want to do that. I like to imagine a beam of loving kindness going from my heart to theirs. It could be pulsing, it could be warm, it could be cool, it could be any color, any special effects you want. And it helps to smile when you do it. Thinking about how much you care for this person, how grateful you are for their kindness to you. So for the next few moments, we'll do this practice of loving kindness for our benefactor. And now adjusting our focus just a little bit from first imagining yourself radiating loving kindness to your benefactor to now imagining your benefactor radiating this kindness to you. You already know they've been so wonderful and kind to you. And now you're just going to imagine this again. Imagine them radiating loving kindness to you, maybe a beam of loving kindness coming from their heart into yours, and them smiling at you when they do so. And sometimes it helps to put your hand over your heart, feeling for any resistance. It's okay if there's resistance. If there is, just breathe into it as much as you can. Maybe loosening it up just a little bit to allow more of that loving kindness into your own heart. And so for the next few minutes, we'll just imagine our benefactor doing this practice of loving kindness because they love you so much for us. And now, can we now do this practice for ourselves? Maybe even still putting our hand over our heart, feeling for any resistance as we either wish ourselves loving kindness, radiate kindness back onto ourselves, or even repeat phrases. Phrases like, may I be happy. May I be safe. May I be healthy. May I be at peace and live at ease in this world. So we'll do this for the next few moments. And finally, We can do this practice for all beings in all directions. No matter what beings there may be, near or far, tall, the medium, short, small, those born and to be born, may all beings be at ease. Wherever they are, wherever they are, in whatever state they're in. The heart has this limitless quality, and we can use this for this part of the practice. May all beings be at ease. And we'll do this to end our practice. Just open your eyes when you're ready. Taking the next moment or two out in silence as you stretch your arms and you stretch your legs. Keeping that mindfulness of loving kindness about you. And then we'll begin in about 45 seconds. Won't go too long. If you have a question, you can put it in the chat box and Travis will read it to me. Or a comment on what that meditation was like for you, that's okay. All right. So, during the meditation for me, with all moving and everything, and I've been really tired just because it's, there's a lot going on. And so during the meditation, I found myself like yawning a lot. Even when I was talking to you right at the beginning, I was yawning. And, that's okay. It's okay. It's just an acknowledgement. Hey, I'm really tired. And so if I'm really tired, then I need to do something to deal with that. And, what we're told to do often is take a deep breath. Take really big, deep breaths and kind of wake up a little bit. It also would have been appropriate that if I was tired, that I opened my eyes and I stood up and I stretched. That would have been okay too. Right? And so you can do that too if you ever find yourself tired or yawning or whatever. But I just took some deep breaths, and towards the end of the meditation, that seemed to do the trick. So that's fine. These are just things that happen in meditation. So either you can say hi if you didn't say hello before. Tell me where you're from. I would like to hear either your experience of meditation, what that meditation was like for you, what you experienced. There are no wrong answers. Questions on the instructions, questions on Buddhism, or whatever you want to ask. Keep it pretty open today. Knowing that this is a heightened time, you can ask questions about that as well. So.
Jeremy asked, did I hear correctly that our benefactor should not be a romantic partner? And if so, could you speak to that?
Yeah, Jeremy, that's a great question. And I absolutely did say that our benefactor should not be a romantic partner. The reason is that because there's normally a lot of attachment there, sometimes also it could bring about some of the opposite feelings because there is that attachment there. It could bring up feelings of, this kind of hidden feelings that resentment or, whatever it is, or uncertainty or whatever. Not always, certainly. But that's basically why, we try to stay away from romantic partners. Well, anyone else, fair game. Mother, father, brother, sister, son, daughter, cousin, aunt, uncle, from relatives' perspective, it could be anybody, and so normally I don't always give that instruction, but, since I do this every week, but, when I do, I normally get some questions on that, and I'm happy to kind of, talk about that every single time. The idea here is to not get you into, an attachment, a place of attachment, because that just leads to suffering. And so, but by not doing that, for the most part, you're going to you'll be kind of in a better stead, I guess you could say. It'll hold you in good stead. So, but you don't have to do that, but I recommend that we kind of stay away from that. Thanks for the question. I always appreciate it.
Jean asked, can my beloved cats be my benefactors?
You'll probably hear some different answers. And I go back and forth with this. Sometimes I say no, sometimes I say yes. And, I think how I am right now, this very second, sure. You want to do that? Sure. I mean, if that's going to be easier for you, absolutely. I would not do that. Because this is an engaged practice. And when we're talking about loving kindness, the Buddha is talking about every single creature. So from that viewpoint, yes, of course you can. Whatever creatures they may be. That's when you're doing it for everybody, right? But for benefactor, I try to stay away from that, just because this is an engaged practice, engaging with your fellow human beings. So, if you ask me again next week, I might have a different answer. I go back and forth. For right now, I would say, if you want to do it for your cats, do it when you do all beings. For benefactor, there has to be some human. But if that's not working for you, if you want to do your cats, rock on. Absolutely. Hope that answered your question. I kind of gave you some different answers now that I'm playing that over again in my head, what I just said. That's the great thing about this practice, is you can change it up. It's like, hey, this thing isn't working for me, so what if I do this? And what if I do this? And what if I do this? And you shouldn't change strategies a ton, because you want to give it a chance to have some good, right? But you can. It's just a strategy. You can change a strategy. No, that's not Temple Ghost. I don't know if you can hear that. That's not a sound Temple Ghost makes. Okay, so what else do we got, guys? We got some time left. Halloween is coming up. Don't go as the Buddha. That's tacky. If you want to tell me what you're going to Halloween as, that'd be okay. I used to like to dress up. Not dress up. I used to like to sit out on my porch and watch the kids come by. I used to live in a residential neighborhood. The place where I lived before this, it was in Mission Hills, and a ton of kids, and they would come by, and this is the cutest costumes, bumblebees and Transformers and lots of Spider-Man and Batman and dinosaurs and Iron Man and Dracula, and it was all, the kids are so cute, so adorable. So that used to be like a highlight of my year. But I don't know. I don't think we can. I guess we could sit out on the porch of the temple and give candy away. Oh, might be a good idea. That'd be fun. Did anybody else say hello, or did we miss anything? Or do you have a question?
Janie said hello a little bit ago.
Oh, hi, Janie. I hope you're doing well. So, between now and, just so you know, it's not going to be election day. There's not going to be so much an election day, so much as they're going to be an election week or an election several days because of all the mail-in votes, right? It takes time to count those. And depending on what state you're in, we're probably not going to know on Tuesday, who the winner is or what votes are left to be counted. And so I guess the bad thing about that, it's just going to take a little bit of time. And so instead of one day, it's going to be several days. And so you might find yourself in this kind of agonizing position, checking Twitter like every 10 seconds for latest election results, or Facebook or the news or CNN or whatever news program channel you watch, I don't know. And so be prepared for that. Be prepared for that. And so it doesn't matter who you're voting for, please be on guard for that kind of longer extended period of uncertainty. We all hate uncertainty and fear that, the candidate that I voted for is not going to become the president or the senator or the congressman or the assessor or the city councilman or whomever it is. So be careful. And this is a time that you really need to be on guard with what's going on in your head. Because things can change in an instant. And this kind of what I'm dealing with right now that isn't super stressful, but it's more stress that I'm used to. It's a kind of stress I've never really had before. So that kind of the newness of that, there's a lot of uncertainty there. So I've had to really be on guard, and now with this election, even more so. So I remember last election, I didn't really pay attention to news, and I wasn't scrolling Facebook every 10 seconds, and I took a walk, and I distracted myself, and because if you watch TV, they have the scroll on the bottom about election results, and so if you can, maybe you can watch some Netflix. Watch some happy movies on Netflix or Amazon Prime or whatever your streaming service of choice is. It doesn't matter. Stay away from horror and drama and just something happy or something interesting. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I haven't watched. There's several things that I haven't watched, so I'm really behind. And then they always have movies and new TV shows coming out on all these streaming services every week, so I'm really behind. I watch very little of that. Ever since I came here, I don't have a TV, and the TV that I had in storage I gave away. And in my new place, I haven't bought a TV, and I might not buy a TV. But even streaming, I don't watch that much, so maybe that's good. I don't know. So again, just be careful of that. We may not know exactly who the winner is going to be for a little bit of time, day, 2 days, 3 days, a week. I don't know. I don't know how long it's going to take. I don't know how that's going to play out. But be on guard, please. Nothing. That's okay. Oh my gosh, you guys. You don't have to say anything. It's okay. I still love you. So let's join our palms together and our hearts, please. And may the benefits of this meditation, this discussion, such that it was, be received by all beings in all directions. May all beings be free from suffering. May all beings be at peace. May all beings be joyful and at ease. May all beings be happy. And may all beings be loved and seen for the beautiful, radiant beings that they are. Thank you for coming. Okay, guys. Have a great rest of your week. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye now.